that. Anybody know that the Olympics were held in Sarajevo? Well, the Olympics were held in Sarajevo, and within 5 years, a bloody civil war was unfolding in what was then the former Yugoslavia, with the Serbians surrounding Sarajevo, which had been the capital, and turning it into a killing zone. It was a brutal, brutal thing. And the primarily Muslim Bosnian community in Sarajevo was targeted relentlessly by the Serbian forces, who were so-called Christian. The result was an unprecedented slaughter, and there were sniper rallies. Essentially, Sarajevo was in a bowl, and with mountains around. Beautiful, beautiful city. The Serbian forces got on the hills outside, and they just fired relentlessly down into the city. On this particular day, CNN had a camera crew along with several other news organizations not too far from the Sarajevo market. It was market day. And people who know anything about Europe know that you go in and the farmers bring their food and produce and bring it into the market. You can buy everything from bananas to bras and goodness knows what else, all laid out on the tabletops, and so the market's in full sway. The whole thing's going flat out when this happens. These images are very hard to look at. The Serbs had fired 3 artillery shells into the market in rapid succession. They had clearly targeted the market. These were the very first images that fed into Atlanta. So would you like to know how CNN handled this material? When the material came in, the supervisor saw this stuff, and the tape supervisor, again, the tape supervisor saw this stuff, and oh my God. And so she called one of the senior producers, and the senior producer went and got an executive producer. The executive producer went and got the vice president, and the vice president got another vice president and a senior vice president, and pretty soon the edit bay was full of people in dark suits and red ties, all scratching their butt, wondering what in the hell we're going to do with this thing. And somebody said, well, we need to get Tom in here, and Tom Johnson came roaring down to the edit bay. Tom Johnson was then the president. He was president for 9 years. He walked into the edit bay, looked at the material, and said, this is a war crime. We have to show every frame. We have to show every frame. We can't ignore this. And so we did it with a view of warning. The correspondent was a guy by the name of Walt Rogers. He was with us up through the last Iraq War a little while later. He was at that time the Sarajevo bureau chief. He did an introduction to the video that talked about it being graphic. And I think there was even an anchor warning before tossing to Walt that the images were graphic. And then he described what had happened and how it was handled. And we played out the entire thing. Now, we weren't the only news organization to do that. I was at CBS News at the time, and the CBS Evening News, and we played out much of these same pictures in our report from our correspondent. They were hard to look at. But the result was, I think, that journalists around the world showed what was going on there. The result was that the UN had no option but to intervene. They had to do something. They were forced into action. The result was S4. And then later you had K4 for Kosovo, when the same things were unfolding in Kosovo. That intervention, I don't think, would have taken place if journalists had shown what was going on there. I'm not saying this particular video or that decision by Tom Johnson turned the tide, but I think it was certainly a component of that process where journalism points out an issue, points out a problem, and then points to potential solutions. It's actually one of the things I can be most proud of as a journalist. You know, we try to show the ugly side of humanity so we can do something about it. It's hard. Very hard. Sometimes that means showing pictures at home where the kid's hearing that there's a viewer warning, turn up the TV sound instead of changing the channel. It's a risk. Sometimes, as a responsible journalist, we have to find that balance. Anybody disagree with our call? Yeah.
I still think you should always apologize to the family of
This is hard. You know, one of the double standards here is, oh my gosh, we had a business relationship with Bill Cosby and we apologized for that and we got all wringing our hands over showing those images. And yet we have no compunction at all about showing people who are dead on the other side of the Atlantic in a foreign, quote, foreign country. I think that's a legitimate criticism sometimes. It's easier for us to show, oh, well, you know, they're not us. They're not like us. And so we can show those images. That's something that you really have to fight and work through. But I think there are good reasons in this case. I think we've worked it through, and I think Tom made the right call fundamentally.